This is some great banana cream pie.
This is terrific banana cream pie. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is so good.
It makes for a delicious breakfast for them.
Mm-hmm. The
Are
best.
real bananas in here?
There are real bananas in here. I even put vanilla wafers.
Well, there's a banana cream. That's a banana cream. Very good job. Thank you.
Well, welcome to Break Check.
Have you seen our numbers?
Our numbers.
Our subscriber numbers.
Yeah, I am very grateful for our numbers, which is pretty awesome.
Is that somehow connected to the...
No.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
No. You know, this is so good. Like a full banana cream pie. I could just have one just coating my face. Love everything about it. It's just banana cream pie.
I know, right?
Could you?
I know.
Ma'am.
Can't you picture it, Jason?
I'm picturing it more and more every day.
Jason, why don't you have any pie?
Yeah.
It's so odd. I don't like banana cream pie.
Then why would you want one smashed in your face?
Yeah.
Because we have 57 subscribers.
Oh, we do.
I think we're learning about our audience that we have right now because for what was it, like a month, I was like, hey, if we get to this number, then I'll dance. I'll do a dance party because I'm not a dancer.
Do a little jig.
And it never happened. Like we were stuck for
Yeah,
a while.
49.
And then I was like, I guess that's off the table. Let's see what happens when you don't have the fear of watching me dance. And on his own, Jason offered, you can smash a pie in my face. And then he goes, if we get to this number, so it was 50, we'll get a whipped cream pie. And he goes, then 55, banana cream.
You should have offered
And
60.
within less
I
than
should have gone to 100.
was it like less than a week,
Yeah, it was
Less
within
than a
like
week.
days.
we gained almost 10 subscribers. It really was 10 because we had
Yeah.
2 unsubscribe and then
Yeah.
we went from 47 to 57.
That's true.
So in less than a week, we got 10.
Yeah.
So you are my 10 favorite subscribers this week for even extra special reasons. What is the bigger betrayal? Me putting it in your face or your wife being the one that made it?
See, I helped make it. And yeah, Richard smashes it in your face.
You get to just enjoy it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did have an actual topic.
Oh, what is it?
Let's talk about it.
I was going to talk about autocross. Autocross.
Yeah. Autocross is fun.
It's the season for racing and, getting into autocrossing and other types of motorsports.
Yeah.
Tis
So-
the season of racing vehicles.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding.
Is that going to be our new jingle?
No.
It should.
We need a jingle. It's been almost a year. What episode number is this?
35.
35?
35.
Mid-30s.
We just
Oh, yeah,
released
35?
34.
We have less than 20 weeks. We'll be doing this for a year. We have duped 57 people to follow us.
How? Thank you, but
Yeah.
man, did you pay him $20 or something to
I
subscribe
can't
to
afford
it?
$20. We only have 57 subscribers.
Okay, did you pay him 50 cents or a quarter to
No,
subscribe to us?
I promised him that Jason would get a banana cream pie in the face.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's apparently how it goes.
That's better than $20.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us what autocross is?
Autocross is a motorsport. It's an entry-level motorsport where you go out to, a group of people go out to a parking lot where they have permission to be there, and they set up cones to create a course that you take your car around and you compete to see who can get the fastest time around that course. I personally highly recommend it. It is the safest and cheapest way to experience what your car is capable of. If you have any type of sporty car or even just a car, it doesn't even have to be sporty, and you're curious, you want to drive fast, you're curious about what your car is capable of, it's a really good way to find out and to kind of enjoy the art of motorsport.
I've seen a guy out there in an F-250
Yeah.
one time. Just it doesn't matter. You just pay I think it's $20 or something.
It for non-members, it's $50 per
It's
event.
$50. And it's fun. You get what, 2, 3,
3 rounds typically.
3 runs?
Typically, yep. They do in order to keep the prices down because $50 to race your car at an event where they have safety teams there and all that stuff. $50 is very cheap, and that's in the Wichita area. So what you'll do is you'll run 3 runs typically, and then you'll work a run where they do three rounds. So working the event just means that you'll basically be out on the track in an area that's designated to be as safe as possible. And then you'll watch the cars go around, and if they hit a cone, you run out, reset the cone before the next car comes, run back, and then somebody else will call in that the cone was hit, and whether or not it was a cone hit for a penalty in time, or if they went around a cone the wrong direction, then it was a DNF, did not finish because they didn't follow the course. So that's basically what it means to work the course, is you're just out there making sure that everything's running smoothly.
I think it's hilarious that when we were at the Autocross, so you'll have to mark things with chalk. They use drywall.
Yeah.
It's
I'm like, what?
It's a cheap, effective way to mark things on the ground temporarily.
It makes you feel like you're in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when you change this huge piece of drywall and you're like on the ground.
It's pretty good.
Really big chalk. Where'd you find this? Big and tall store? It's drywall.
It's really, really fun. And even if you're not interested in motorsports necessarily, like you're not wanting to race your car, if you try it one time, you will find out what your car is capable of, and you'll also, it helps improve you as a driver.
You'll find out that you are not, you're not able to meet your car's potential.
Yeah.
As a driver. If you think you're a great driver, go run an autocross and you'll realize, man, I cannot meet the max potential of this car.
Yeah. Even your average like daily driver car is capable of more than you think. What you'll find is that it really helps you become a safer driver in some ways. Not because you should drive fast on the public roads, but because what you'll discover is that you think your car can do more than it can in some ways, and you think your car can do less than it can in other ways. So, for example, I think a lot of people believe that their car can brake and turn better than it actually can. Braking and turning is one of the most difficult things that your car can do, at the same time. Because when you're braking, you're putting a lot of weight on your front tires, and then you try to turn, there's no grip left for the car to do both of those things at the same time. So you learn very quickly that cars are not good at doing both those things at the same time.
You also immediately realize in the very first turn, you realize that I do not understand vehicle weight shifting dynamics.
Right.
Like when you slam on your brakes and you try to turn, if you're on the road and you're trying to avoid like hitting a deer or something.
Yep.
Number one, don't hit your brakes. Just let off the gas and run into the thing. Number two, if you do slam on your brakes and you turn your wheel, all the weight shifts to the front wheels, which makes your back wheels lighter, almost off the ground. And sometimes if you hit the brakes hard enough.
Yeah.
And if you turn with the rear end being light, it's going to come out. That's why people spin out. And that's why you do donuts and you run off into the ditch when you're trying to avoid something like that. So you find out really, really quick, man, I don't understand how car dynamics work.
Yeah.
I should have listened more in geometry and physics.
Yeah, I've actually considered starting a driver's ed course, specifically with the intention of teaching people how to drive more than beyond just what is legally required. Because I believe that the roads would be safer if people actually understood how the dynamics of a car work.
So you're saying that people are stupid?
No, I'm saying that they don't understand and they're not taught. In Finland, there's a saying in motorsports, employ a fin, or if you want to win, employ a fin. Is a saying in motorsports, and it's
when was the last Finnish to win a race?
I don't know that,
fresh research.
Fresh research.
You keep talking, I'm gonna find out.
A big part of that is they start training on how to drive early, and their roads are not like they are in America, where they will demolish land to make the roads as smooth and straight as possible. Like the roads there go with the terrain. Like there's dips and valleys and turns, and they also have a lot of not great weather there. They get a lot of rain and stuff, from what I understand. So they're taught from a young age, and they have a very long driver's ed course that they have to take. And during that course, they learn specifically car control. They learn how to recover a slide. They learn what it means to lift off the throttle when you're going over a crest, or how to power out of a turn or into a turn. They learn all these things because not that they're trying to teach, 12-year-olds how to be a race car driver, but because they want the roads to be as safe as possible and they want everyone to understand how to handle their car. So with that same idea, I personally think that it would be a good thing for a lot of people to experience that and actually know what it's like to handle a vehicle when it's out of your control. Because when your car is out of control, it's not fully out of control. You have some control over what the vehicle is going to do. But if you don't know how to do it, you're never going to be able to do it.
So the first Finnish driver to finish in first place
Oh my God.
was in 1982, the Swiss Grand Prix. The most recent win was in 2021 at the Turkish Grand Prix.
So it's not a recent saying.
So this is Formula One drivers from
Formula
Finland. Yeah, Formula E, as the French would say. Jean Girard. There's been 9 Formula One Finnish drivers that have accumulated 57 wins, and only 4 years they took first place overall. They've participated in 753 Grand Prix.
But I know
This
I've
is, of
heard
course,
that.
Wikipedia, which we know is as
100% accurate.
as if not more reliable than us.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
100% factual.
60% of the time, we're right every time.
It's true. But also, when it comes to autocross, if you are really trying to push your car like to the absolute limit, I mean, it can be hard on your car, especially if you do it over and over and over again. But if you do it 1 or 2 times and you're just trying to like kind of get a feel for it and trying to experience it, you can push your car pretty hard without doing any real damage to your car. The thing about autocross is that it's a relatively low speed racing. Because you're in a parking lot and there's a lot of cones, they put a lot of turns and stuff like that. Typically, the fastest you're going to get to is about 50, 60 miles an hour. And that's if you have a fast car. If you have like a daily driver type car, you're probably talking 40, maybe 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, autocross it's much more important. If you're into like suspension tuning and wheels and camber angles and all those things and toe in and toe out,
Yeah.
like autocross is for you because it's so much less about the power of your motor, like drag racing, and it's way more about the handling of your car. You can have a car that makes 120 horsepower. If it's set up right suspension-wise, it could completely demolish a Corvette with 450 horsepower if the Corvette's not set up right.
That's true. With that being said, though, I went for a ride with a guy who had a Corvette that was set up.
Those things are stupid awesome.
That thing, I got in and he's like, okay, hold on to that handle there, hold on to this handle here, put your feet flat against the
and push.
Yeah, against the back and push and hold on. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I've driven autocross before, but cool. And then, yeah, he was right to recommend that.
If you could
Yep.
try to imagine like the opposite of vertigo. If you don't know, vertigo is when your equilibrium is all messed up and you're sitting still, but everything feels like it's spinning or you're falling. It's completely disoriented,
Right.
Or disorienting. But the opposite of vertigo would be like feeling super stable when everything else around you is moving.
Right.
And this Corvette, 'cause I think I know the one you're talking about. I rode in it as well. Or I rode in one like it, where you're sitting there and you're in a turn going like 57 miles an hour in a 60-degree hard right turn.
Yeah.
And you don't feel the car leaning at all.
Yeah.
Like it just feels flat. You feel yourself kind of like shift a little bit to the side. But that feeling you get, like if you're trying to beat a red light and you want to turn 90 degrees real quick, like this guy's turning over that and you don't feel that car lean. It just feels flat.
Yeah.
No matter which direction you're pushing it.
Yeah. It's like the world has decided that it's just going to suddenly go in a different direction and you're just going along for the ride.
Yeah.
If you have motion sickness, though, take some Dramamine. I really had to take some Dramamine because I think I got the same dude too, the Corvette guy, where he said all that and he's like, all right, let's go. And I was like, okay. My butt started lifting.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, huh. I was like, Dramamine. I need this.
But it's so fun.
It is. And if you drive, it is like being in control of your own roller coaster, especially if you have a sports car.
Yeah.
It is. That's the best way I know how to explain it. It's
I
like
had 3 different Miatas, Mazda Miatas, and I know I'll probably get, made fun of for that. But
the
Miatas
Miatas,
are amazing on autocross.
They're incredible autocross cars.
Because they're light and they're out of the like from the factory, they handle really, really well.
Very nimble little cars.
It is a literal go-kart that you can drive on the road. But there's a funny video that I can't remember which my buddies have, but I forgot my helmet one day, and so they have helmets you can borrow. So me and a buddy were riding, he wanted to ride, and we borrowed these 2 white open face helmets. So we look like these 2 massive headed bobbleheads. I had the top down. I couldn't have the top up
You
with
looked
the
like
helmets.
Speed Racer.
Yeah, and so as the car was like
Racer.
dodging around and darting around, you just see our heads go dunk, dunk, like in unison. But it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's a blast. So that was kind of my topic that I came up with today was, like autocross is the season has begun. There's events going on, and if you're curious, I highly recommend checking it out. It is absolutely one of the most fun things that I've done.
Autocross is a good.
Yes, and SCCA, that's where you can find a lot of autocross.
Sports Car Club of America.
Yes.
SCCA.
So search for SCCA in your area. That should get you pretty close. They also do rally events. So if you're into more off-road stuff.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they do rally stuff too. They've started, I think, doing rally stuff in Wichita, unless they stopped already. But that was a few years ago. I heard about it.
I don't know where they would do that at.
They were, when I was doing SCCA, they were looking for locations. And then I sold my Mustang, so I wasn't going anymore. But I heard that they found a location, but I don't know if they're still doing it. But I know the SCCA in general around the U.S. does do rallycross stuff.
Really?
Okay.
Do you want to talk about the Federal Reserve?
Our whole audience has been waiting on this day about the Federal Reserve. I bet they were, because I felt it.
That's probably why they subscribed. They thought you were going to talk about the Federal Reserve.
Exactly. Not because they wanted to see a pie in your face.
Yeah, in fact, maybe we should just skip the pie because they wanted the Federal Reserve, not the pie.
You can't skip the pie.
And I already made the pie.
Sure, you made it.
But you can eat it.
No.
No, there was an eating pie and a smashing pie.
But the smashing pie is
We've already
an actual
eaten
pie.
parts of the eating pie.
I worked hard.
This is your wife, bro.
You're right.
Don't break her heart.
How can you talk to me like this?
So the Federal Reserve?
So the Federal Reserve.
You want to talk about the Federal Reserve?
I think we should.
We should talk about the Federal
The people
Reserve.
have been expecting it.
You want to talk about the Federal Reserve?
I think we should.
I think we should.
Let me get in position here.
Hold on,
Settle in.
let me scratch my nose. Hold on. I gotta be serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, I'll drink some water first.
Let me clear my throat.
Settle in.
We're good.
Serious.
Are you ready?
Serious.
Everybody be quiet. Shh. Jen.
Sorry.
Jen. It's very serious right now.
Serious.
I'll start off by asking a question.
Oh.
Did you know the Federal Reserve is not part of the United States government?
I did not know that, legitimately.
What? It's called the Federal Reserve. How can it not be part of the federal government? So this goes all the way back to Egypt,
That's not the U.S.
like a long time ago, like Pyramid Egypt. I'm not going to go all the way that far back.
Okay.
But
Oh, okay.
so the Federal Reserve was founded by a group of bankers. These bankers, remember I told you it was tied into the Titanic.
Right.
So have you ever heard about the conspiracies around the Titanic as far as it was sunk and the people who got off last minute that were supposed to be on the boat? So there was people that were some of the wealthiest people in the world
Okay.
that were on the Titanic. I think Hershey, like the founder of Hershey, was one of them.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then like Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan and all these people who founded like the major banks right now, the major financial institutions in America,
Okay.
they were also supposed to be on the Titanic.
Oh.
And then for
Interesting.
unknown reasons, unclaimed reasons, they didn't get on the boat all at the same time, last minute. We all know what happened to Titanic. All these wealthiest people, but the wealthy people who died on the Titanic, they were actually rivals, like financial rivals to the ones who got off the Titanic. Like it wasn't like they just knew each other and they were financial, cohorts.
Right.
Like these were direct hated people to them. The ones who got off were all sort of like with each other. They wanted this centralized banking system. They didn't like the banking system that we currently had.
Okay.
And the ones who were on the boat that did die, they were against what these guys stood for, which is what the Federal Reserve is now.
Okay.
So it goes back to
Interesting.
the Titanic.
Right.
Okay. They get here off the coast of North Carolina.
Okay.
There's an island called Jekyll Island. These three, I think it was Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, and one other guy, I can't remember his name. But they go to Jekyll Island and they have this meeting, this secret meeting, where they come up with the idea. So when banks were founded in America, it was about like the farmers. But everything was on the gold standard.
Right.
Because it was still trade using the gold standard. Well, we're not on the gold standard anymore.
Right. Yeah.
The banks would just kind of like, you would use them for your farming, but you would still hold all your gold or all your cash or whatever you had at your home, wherever you wanted to store it. These three guys wanted to have a centralized banking system that would determine everything financially for the country. And it did away with these bank systems.
Right.
President Woodrow Wilson was against what is now the Federal Reserve when he was running for president, before he was president.
Right.
While he was standing against it, he had a meeting with these three guys after they went to Jekyll Island and formulated their plan.
Okay.
And after that meeting, he came out and he goes, yeah, I think this is kind of a good idea now. And he goes, but we need to name it something so people will get on board with it, hence the name Federal Reserve. But it is a private entity not tied to the government.
What the heck?
But the Federal
Okay.
Reserve determines everything that happens as far as our finances in America. So here's what they did.
Oh.
They print all the money.
Okay.
Everything goes through the Federal Reserve. They
Right.
control everything, and the government can't do anything about it.
What,
But
how
we're
does-
slave to the Federal Reserve and their money system. So when they print money, they give it to the government or they give it to whomever. They say, all right, here it is at this stupid high interest rate, immediately in debt. America is in debt to the Federal Reserve. All these trillions of dollars is in debt to this Federal Reserve.
Huh.
And every time they print money, it lowers the value of the dollar
Yeah.
because there's more of it. It's less rare.
Yeah.
Right.
It's less common.
Right.
So they got us off of the gold standard, put us on this new money standard that the Federal Reserve determines.
Okay.
They choose whatever interest rate they want because it's a private entity,
Yeah.
not government controlled. And so there's no way to get out of debt to it.
Right.
And whenever America needs more money, they're like, hey, Federal Reserve, we need more money. They're like, okay, we'll print more. But at this interest rate, immediately more debt. And immediately the dollar is worth less.
Look, inflation.
Yeah. And so they're moving to this system because if you believe in the Bible or not, the Bible talks about one new world order, one centralized everything.
right.
And that's what it kind of in lines with that is we're moving to this system where the dollar will no longer be of any value. People will burn
Right.
dollars because they're going to this digital currency where one world currency for one world order. And so like if you look at the back of the dollar where the pyramid is and it's got the all-seeing eye above on the top of the pyramid, it's got Latin phrases.
Right.
Oh.
The bottom of it like literally translates almost like to the order of the new world.
The Illuminati.
That's a trigger word. You can't,
You can't use it. I will say though, I mean, Robert Kiyosaki, he's a financial expert. He did say start investing in gold and silver if you can.
Yep.
He said the dollar is just going to be useless.
it's gonna go away. It's gonna
Yeah.
be completely. It's only useful because we decided this is worth something.
Exactly.
And so like I can't remember which president it was, but I think it's Jackson who was so against the Federal Reserve the whole time till the day he died. But he's on the $20 bill. So it's like they're putting all these people on it. They're doing these things. They're trying to get it like, oh, everyone's for it. Everyone's for it. So here's the crazy part. For whatever the debt is, for the amount of interest that the Federal Reserve determines that we get
Okay.
or that we have to pay,
Uh-huh.
if you wanted to get out of that debt right now, every single American would have to give $250,000. That includes like the babies,
Right.
every living American.
Oh,
Wow. So
the babies, you're $250,000.
So we are enslaved and we can do nothing about it. We are enslaved to the Federal Reserve, our country. And they're the ones determining that we're continuing to go down because they continue to print, they continue to raise interest rates,
right.
and we can't do anything about it
Interesting.
until eventually they're going to drive it out and we're going to be forced to go to a one world currency.
Well, I mean, I think we did read stuff like
Yeah.
similar to that in some of our financial books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they did mention about the Federal Reserve, all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah. Because I've heard some people say that a little bit of inflation is good because it keeps money flowing. I've heard that before. But I don't. I guess I just don't understand enough about the money system and how it all works to.
We should though.
I mean, we should we know a little bit. Like we've looked into that sort of stuff a little bit.
We
But
need more financial knowledge.
yeah,
I hear that's like
Is it interesting that they don't teach that in school?
they don't.
Interesting.
No.
Actual like we need reading, writing, arithmetic, but actual life, lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to operate, how to keep your checkbook balance, how to keep this, how to keep that,
Right.
how to go throughout the world.
Yeah.
That stuff isn't taught.
When you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, like it really opens your eyes. It's like a lot of that, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It is really fascinating stuff. And like I said, I don't know enough about it, but I know some stuff,
Yeah.
but
And
it's
again,
really
like
fascinating.
depending on what your beliefs are, spiritual, religious, whatever your beliefs are, but it's also included in that whole conspiracy or that whole conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. When these guys went to Jekyll Island, so are you familiar with the Nephilim?
Oh yeah, the Nephilim. That's an angel, isn't it?
So the Nephilim are the offspring of when the fallen angels
Oh,
from
that's
heaven.
right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the fallen angels from heaven came to earth.
So Satan and
And they impregnated the
A
women of
human.
Earth, so it was
Yeah.
a fallen angel human hybrid. And they were the Nephilim, and that's where we get the giants that are
the
rumored to
Titans.
being around, the Titans, all these things.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
the Nephilim are conspirized or rumored to be what has led a lot of these world orders, a lot of these decisions, and so they allegedly met with these guys on Jekyll Island, and they said, "This is how you're going to set this up in order to make America, under your control," which ultimately, hundreds of years later, would cause America to fall. So all these things that seem so great, obviously, aren't very great.
Right.
So, yeah, it's Federal Reserve in a very compact nutshell. There's
Yeah.
so much information about it.
I would imagine so.
I don't mean to make this like religious or anything. So you can call whatever, the devil, the void, whatever you want to call him. What was that book that we read about how this guy was interviewing the devil?
Outwitting the devil.
Outwitting the devil. So this guy was able to interview the devil. And the devil, I've kind of noticed with the devil is that he likes for other people to have instant gratification, but he knows that that's not the way to go about it. He's like, I love these places. I love taking my time because eventually I know in the future things are going to get really bad. Things are going to be destroyed. He's like, I own so many people. I think he said he was like, I own like 98% of people's minds and I make them do whatever I want. He's like, it takes a while, but that's the best way to go about it. You start from like when they're young and then when you bring them up, they start destroying themselves. They start destroying other people's lives. He's like, they do the work for me and I love it. I love watching it.
He just has to get a hook. He just has to get one little hook in there and just let you spiral yourself.
Exactly.
Because everything from, the devil or the world system, because, again, if you believe in it, in the Bible, it talks about the devil is the prince of this world. So he runs the world. He influences the world. And so if you are influenced by the world, if you work by the world system, you get gratification now. It's all about what you can get now before you die. And then the opposite, believing in the Bible, is everything you're here so temporary. In the scheme of eternity, what's 80 years of life? The average lifespan, 80 years.
Right.
Compared to eternity.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah. And so everything for the Bible believers is what you're storing up for eternity, not for this, because you're not part of this world anymore. You're in it, but not of it. And so if you do it the world's way, you get everything now, because you don't believe in eternity afterward. Once you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
If you believe in the Bible, you're not caring about this short little time spent on this earth because you're storing up everything for eternity.
Right.
So yeah, all the devil's got to do is be like, oh, I'm going to hook you, and then just let you go. Like we talked about a while ago about the frequency that music is played at in radios.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because in the Bible it says that when the devil, before he fell, he was in charge of worship in heaven, and so he was the ultimate musician, if you will.
Yeah.
So if he's the one running this world, why would he not use music to to control people. There was an interesting interview with Michael Jackson before he died, which if he died, that's another conspiracy.
Right.
But he actually said, they were asking him, hey, how do you always make, like, everything you write is such a hit? How do you always write a hit with a hook all the time? Which is interesting, they call it a hook. But he goes, how do you always write something with such a good hook? It's always great. And he goes, I don't think of my music as music. I think of it as mantra. And he goes, if I can come up with something that a kid or an adult or a person can repeat over and over in their head, and it just like, it's just so catchy that they just repeat it. He goes, it's not really a song. He goes, it's more of a mantra that you're repeating, and you become what you listen to, and you become what you think all the time. And so you can use that for good. You can use it for evil.
Yeah.
And so if you think of that in addition to the whole frequency, 44 hertz thing, and the human body, just the natural human vibe doesn't vibe well at 44 hertz, but that's what all music is played in. Right. And, if the devil's the prince of this world and he's the one who's most influenced through music,
right? I
mean, you can connect things any way you want. It's fascinating and it's interesting once you connect these dots about, wow, this is okay. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it,
right.
It's still fascinating.
It is fascinating. I will say though, music is going away from 44 hertz.
Yes, it is.
It is the quality of 44 kilohertz is not as can't hold up to like modern equipment as well as it used to.
Yep.
Anywho, should we read the comments?
We probably should.
We could.
Hopefully we have some. It's normally we haven't. Normally we would have just started.
That's true. I don't know if anyone's awake
Well, normally we haven't even started yet. Normally it's like 40 minutes from now before we start filming.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we might not be able to comment on anyone's comments.
There might be. I mean, there were extra comments added on last week, so we didn't get to. Let's see. Let's pull this thing up. Latest video. There's only 4 views on it right now, so.
Only 4 views? Okay, yeah.
I doubt
Nobody's
we have
awake
any
yet.
comments. No comments at the time. At the moment.
So apologies if you leave a comment or if you left a comment thinking that we would have our normal filming time. We are filming early today because we've just got some stuff going on. So
do you want me to look at any extra? Oh my goodness, we have 20 comments from last week.
Yeah, the video last week.
A lot of it might be your replies.
Some of them are. Some of them are. Yeah. But you can look through them and see if there's anything interesting.
I do know. Okay, so Brock commented. He said his insurance went up $15 from the previous month, and he hasn't had any incidents or tickets. So 15, it wasn't, the 57%, 58%.
Well, it was 37.5 like in one jump. It was 58% over the course of 13 months.
And then he also said he's very proud of me. He knew that I would get into it. I'm assuming he's referring to NASCAR.
Probably.
Yes, Brock, you have contributed to my decline. Thank you.
Oh no.
I know Caitlin wants to know when Brock is coming back to the podcast because she thinks he's super cute. So
I'd hope so.
I mean, she's not biased at all.
Yeah, not biased.
She doesn't know him. She doesn't know him at all.
Brock, maybe we'll have to have you on sometime so your fiance doesn't, try to plot against us and throw pies in the rest of our faces.
The other one, the diesel electric or whatever one that you had.
The diesel conversion, yeah, it's got some comments
on
some
it.
New comments.
Does it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you go through those?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. It's only got 13. 13.
For us, that's pretty good.
A Thomish. It's Thomish. Thomish.
Huh?
Thomish or Thomish. He said, "Here's the Edison pulling a tank."
Oh, and left a link.
Yeah, he put a link of the Edison logging truck.
Yeah.
Pulling a tank.
Yeah, I've seen that video before.
Show me when it's pulling a NASA space shuttle like a Tundra.
Gosh.
I'm sure I can. I'm just kidding. Somebody on a comment you replied to in reference to the Edison truck. Let us know. I thank you, Lawrence. I thank you, Lawrence, for letting us know that they actually built their own cab from start. They did not transplant a cab from a piece of equipment. The truck, by the way, is called Topsy, all capitalized, so I'm assuming it stands for something. And it was built for off-highway use, hauling logs in excess of 100,000 pounds. It doesn't need to be pretty.
No.
I don't mean to read that like you're being snarky, because you may have been snarky, you may not have been snarky, but that's...
It matters if it's pretty. I'm just kidding. No, it just has to work.
For logging, I think we mentioned it in that video, but for logging, I agree. You don't need it to be pretty. You need it to be tough, and you need it to get a job done.
Right.
Was it the Edison truck that we talked about having e-axles? What were the e-axles?
It was a conversion kit.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So Edison, who makes the electric semi, also is making. Well, they're working on a conversion kit that you can buy for your personal pickup truck.
So Cameron said they're not designing the e-axles. They're using e-axles from an established Chinese manufacturer that's been building them for years. They tried to source them domestically from Meritor, but Cummins bought the company and refused to sell them. Turns out Meritor's axles wouldn't have been heavy enough for the semi anyway, and they pretty much Chinese parts assembled in the U.S. So probably they're pretty much Chinese parts assembled in the U.S. Also, the coolant to warm the batteries isn't heated by the generator while it's parked. They use a coolant heater to warm both the batteries and generator engine before you go drive it.
Which is beneficial because diesel generators don't like to start in the cold. So,
which really funny is when I was in the military working on the flight line, which is where the jets park. If you don't know, not that you're stupid, just the flight line is where the jets park.
If you don't know, you don't know.
I don't know.
There's no walls or anything, so the wind just goes screaming by, and it can be really cold in the winter. And so when you're working on a jet and it's below 0 degrees from the wind chill,
Right.
and you need warmth, you want to bring out so aerospace ground equipment, the age group has heaters, but the motors are diesel. And so let's make a heater that's run by an engine that is the hardest thing to start in cold weather. Cold weather.
Makes total sense.
So we spent more time trying to get those stupid diesel heaters running. Most of the time we would start them in the hangar where it was warmer, and then pull them out on the trailer, which you're not supposed to do. Pull them out while they're running to the flight line so they would be running. You wouldn't have to fight with them.
There were times I used to deliver golf carts and lawn equipment. There were times during the winter, because oftentimes you would get your lawnmower serviced during the winter. But when it was really cold out, because of the air going over when you're driving down the road, you have, it's like 0 degrees or like 10 degrees out, and then you're driving at 60 miles an hour down the highway. It can get very cold on the trailer. It can actually freeze the fuel in the fuel line on the lawnmower. So there were times where they told me, just leave the lawnmower running on the trailer while you take it out and to deliver it. And I'm like, I really hope that a police officer doesn't pull up next to my trailer and be like, so I noticed you got a lawnmower just running on top of your trailer.
Well, should we take our exit and we can recommend our previous video to everybody? Oh, actually, we can't exit yet.
Oh,
Why is that? Do we have something unfinished business?
no, we're good.
10-2.
Have a good week. We'll see you next
We're
week.
not done.
I'm not.
No,
No,
we
my-
are done. You said we're taking our exit.
My lane departure assist is refusing to let me go toward the off ramp.
That's so weird.
That's weird.
Why is
Stupid
it?
safety features.
It's like it's possessed.
I can disable it. It's off.
Nope, it's
Well,
still not letting us.
take the exit.
Nope,
That's
we're still
weird.
going.
Faulty button.
Let's go out to the garage, everybody.
Welcome to the pie in the face on Jason's face zone. We apologize for the sound. We didn't have.
This isn't going to be helpful.
It's going to be a little helpful.
We can still at least see justice for Jason.
But it doesn't go over my shoulders.
Well, put your shoulders down.
Well, that's why'd you grow such broad shoulders? You can't. Come on.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Oh God. Am I being restrained?
That guy in a little coat.
Yeah, we don't want you blocking the pie.
I wasn't going to block the pie.
Maybe we need to
Oh,
cut
God.
the egg a little bit. Just gonna cut off. That'll
We're
work.
gonna cut off some circulation.
Yeah, we need to
Who
justice
needs-
for Jason.
Who needs
Right
to
there.
use their arms?
Justice for him.
There's no point in wearing
Hey,
this.
it's about the effort. We have here, made by Jason's beautiful wife, Jen, Jason's pie, because we didn't want to eat the wrong one.
No, we didn't.
So we're going to remove this lid. And then Jen decided we wanted to make this fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
And we wanted to honor the subscribers that made this possible. So we have 57 sprinkles.
Because we totally counted them.
There's exactly 57 that we're going to put on this pie.
That
Wow.
looks like 57,
Thank you.
right?
That's about 52. We need about 5 more. I think we're at
Almost.
56.
Almost.
57.
7.
Yep.
All right, there
And
you
then the period. So, 57 sprinkles in honor of our 57 subscribers. Jason,
Thank you.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, bro.
Make sure your mouth's open because it's good banana cream.
Yummy.
I dropped the pie. Love you, man. I'm glad we did this in your garage.
Yeah, me too.
How's the flavor?
I can
Tell us what you're feeling right now. Tell our subscribers.
What is going on in your mind?
Yeah, how does...
Tastes like banana cream pie.
I'm glad that the trash bag saved your shirt, though.
It didn't save my shoes.
You know, I feel you deserved to take the exit.
I'm gonna take the exit.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends about us. Let's get us to 100 and see what the next thing is that we're going to do to Jason.
Please watch this video.
Bye.
Bye.
Mom want to open up the trash can.
I can't believe you got pie on my pants and my shoe.
I can't believe that either.
This is a terrible mess.
I
that you
apologize.
created.
Here's some more paper towels for you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, did you need more paper towels?
Maybe a few.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Here you
I
go.
might need just a roll.
Just the roll.
It's not bad enough that you just completely wasted an entire banana cream pie, but you had to get a little dollop on my shoe.
How dare you?
My apologies, sir.
Wow.
Whew.
Now it's just all in your beard.
Yep. You look like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Ew.
Oh God.
You look like Santa who
feels
ate yellow,
gross.
who ate yellow snow.
Here you go. Yellow snow. Ew.
You should probably take a shower.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this trash bag is a perfect idea.
It was. I thought it was very helpful.
It was very helpful.
so useful.
It was completely useful. Oh, you need more paper towels?
Oh
Yes,
maybe.
yes, I do.
You do? Oh, okay. Here you go.
I found a little spot.
You did.
Yeah.
You need more?
No, I think it's on the bottom of my shoe.
Oh my gosh, Jason.
I could slip and fall.
Yeah.
You could.
This is a banana cream pie. Have you not seen people slip on bananas?
It's true.
Yep.
All those.
Our safety person is here.
Yeah.
How could I? Will I ever learn?